cider.
Yeah, there's Malcolm.
Hey, Caleb Coho.
Hi.
We should try and write a song in 1 second. What should it be?
Death metal, best song you can come up with, right?
All right. Sorry. I'm going to record it, and then can you play it back for me? All right.
Yep,
Sorry.
yep.
3, 2, 1. All right. Perfect. There we go. All right. That's recorded now. Can you just play that back for me?
Hold on. Yeah. I got to mix and master it super quick. Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Hold on. All right. And with that, I think, yeah, you know what? I think we got it.
Oh, fuck. You're up 1,000 miles again.
This is the dumbest fucking bit, and we just get so entertained by this.
So it's 11:24 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time. That means only one thing. Late Night with Take 3 is live on a Friday. It is on a Friday, not a Thursday. I'm your host, I guess, the Black Country Brooklyn Bill, with not quite all the usual suspects, but frequent faces. Starting off with fellow Canadian Sandy. Sandy, how are we doing today? On this 29th of March.
You know what? I am doing great. The sun is out. The birds are chirping. We're about to get another 2 feet of snow sometime next week, but then it's going to be like 13 or 14 degrees. So I'm really happy. My head doesn't hurt at all. But you know what? Other than that, I'm here with 4 great guys, and I couldn't be happier. Late Night with Take 3.
Let's all go for a walk outside now. Sunshine is calling my name. Speaking of sunshine, Caleb Coho, who is usually sunshine or piss and vinegar, depending on what day you get him. Caleb, how are we doing?
I'm doing all right. This is gonna be fun. I haven't been on the show in a minute, so this should be fun.
This show hasn't been live in a minute. This is our first show in about 2 weeks. But yeah, Abe, you are here. You are here on time. I must say, quite a feat. What sort of preparations did you take to get here on time?
I ordered a burger. I ate the burger, and I happened to be sitting on my desk at this time.
Now, what was on? Now, the big question is, what was on your burger? Because there is a correct answer.
Okay, so there was. You're gonna tell me there was bacon.
Correct.
There was lettuce.
Correct.
There was cheese. I believe it was cheddar or American.
Personally, not for me, but that is correct for most people.
Okay. There was tomato. I said tomato. Okay.
Okay.
And there was. I don't think there were not any dressings, and there was something that you're gonna say it's weird, but there was guacamole.
Not for me, but I understand.
It's part of the culture.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, it's like it'd be similar to like mayo on a burger, because it's going to be it'd be like a more natural fat source as opposed to mayonnaise, where it's like literally just eggs and oil, whereas avocado is like something natural and it's actually really healthy for you. But
and there were onions.
Somebody who is not an avocado, Malcolm Goldie Lang, Malcolm, how does it?
You're not an avocado.
I'm quite glad I'm not an avocado, but
was there a racist comment?
I think there's like there's a Daredevil reference in there somewhere. Because anybody watched like the early episodes of Daredevil on Netflix, because correct Abe, I think the word for lawyer in Spanish is very similar to avocado. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so there's a joke somewhere along those lines, but. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I'm really tired. It's been a long day. So this is sort of like my way to unwind and relax. So let's play a game. Sandy, I want you to pick a movie.
Okay.
All right.
But do I have to pick it right now?
Sooner rather than later.
Okay. I got one.
Yeah. Got one? Okay. Yeah, we're gonna play 20 questions. And it's going to be Sandy's movie. So as always, yes or no. So there's be 4 of us asking, so we each get 5 questions. If you do guess the movie incorrect, and if you guess the movie early and you're incorrect, then you will be out. And the order is going to be myself, Caleb Coho, then Malcolm, and then Abe. So the first question that I have for you, Sandy, is it a fandom qualifying movie?
No.
No? Okay. Caleb.
Okay. Was it released after 2000?
No.
Me?
Yeah.
Was it directed by Steven Spielberg?
No.
Was it pre-80s?
Yes.
Is it Oscar nominated?
Maybe.
Maybe. Maybe yes, maybe no.
As Cody would say, that is a fucking good question.
Yeah, that's a great question.
It is. Just give me a quick second here. I'm just gonna...
And like, I love in that instance where it's like you would ask him like people like the panel would ask him like 3 questions that are like sort of like in themacular like or in similar fashion, and it'd be like every time that's a great question. Let me look it up, and it's like you literally could have just stayed on the page and it probably would have told you the answer.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I'm gonna say.
So it's pre-80s. So it's got to be from the 50s, 60s, 70s, maybe 40s.
I love that. I love that order of logic. 50s, 60s, 70s, maybe 40s.
I don't think he will go with that back.
Maybe he went with Metropolis.
Okay,
The
so
jazz singer guys, we're screwed.
okay, so it was not nominated for an Academy Award. No.
Not
Okay.
Oscar.
Okay, so it's no Oscars. Was it released in the 1960s?
No.
Ooh, right.
Oh shit! All right, so I do. Damn it! So it was in the 80s.
Okay, so it is 80s.
Yeah, so it was not.
I will give Caleb a new question. We'll let Caleb do a new question.
Okay. Is it a comedy?
It is not a comedy.
Okay.
Was it released in the first half of the 80s?
Yes.
Okay, so it's not a comedy. Is it a female lead?
No.
Not female.
Is it a horror?
Yes.
Okay, that narrows it down to a couple.
Yep. Okay. Is it a part of a franchise?
No.
Okay, so I'm thinking about one movie, but
Okay.
Malcolm.
Malcolm.
Has it had a remake?
No.
You were thinking Poltergeist? No, I'm asking Malcolm.
I know, because I was thinking. Because
I was thinking that too.
I was thinking the Thing.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But that's not been remade.
No, the Thing has been. Well, the Thing
No.
is the Thing
As
is
a
a
prequel.
remake and it has been remade.
Yeah,
The actual Thing has been remade. The one that we got
Okay.
in the early 80s was the remake of the
Was the
original
remake,
one.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so was it directed by David Cronenberg?
I should know that right off the bat, but
Canadian David Cronenberg.
no.
Not so. It's not The Fly.
The cool guy asks. Also, welcome to the show. Was it nominated for any Razzies?
Ooh, that's a good question.
That is actually a really good question. I'm just going to go and
I
check.
don't think the Razzies existed in the early 80s?
I don't remember when they started.
It was nominated for 2 Razzies.
It was nominated for 2 Razzies. Ooh.
It's a terrible
So
movie.
a bad horror movie from the 80s.
Isn't there a lot of them?
No, there is not, Caleb.
Razzie nominated early 80s, huh?
That's early or not.
Nominated for 2 Razzies, huh? Fudge. I'm not even sure where to go with this.
I know I screwed you guys all up by picking horror. You guys have no idea where to go.
Is it a slasher flick?
No.
Not a slasher.
Is it? Oh, it's Malcolm. Sorry.
Was it released in 1983?
No.
Not 83.
So it's not The Shining. But I believe The Shining you could almost call it.
Shining was 80.
Oh, was it 80?
Yeah, but why would it be nominated for Razzies?
Was it post 85?
No.
That question was already
No, it
Well,
was
I
not 85.
asked if it was early 80s and
Oh, you
CDC
did?
was.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Actually,
we have-
Malcolm answered it differently. It's not. Malcolm asked if it was in the last half or the first half of the 80s.
Yeah, that was my fault.
Okay. Anyways, I'm gonna. I see the guesses in the chat. Okay. I say the cool guy. So the cool guy is guessing. Is it The Shining?
The cool guy is guessing,
Yes, the cool guy is guessing. Is it The
and
Shining?
the cool guy gets a guess.
Yes.
The cool guy is correct. It is The Shining
The Shining was nominated for worst director
and worst actress.
Why worst director though?
Whoa.
Really?
There was a lot of people that didn't like The Shining.
Yeah, but I was thinking like terrible
In-
movie. I
in-
don't-
in-
Worst director seems
But
like a
Kubrick,
bit of
though.
a stretch, though.
except that Stephen King hated the actual movie The Shining.
Oh,
Thought he
really?
did an absolute crap job of adapting it for it. Couldn't stand it. Hated it.
But
And
yet
wouldn't-
Stephen King loved the adaptation of The Mist, and I think
Yeah.
the ending of that movie is absolute garbage. But, yeah. Welcome the cool guy, Jess Morgan, Star Drew, Cameron Holzman, the usual suspects. I know it's weird kind of being on a Friday night, but yeah, it's been an interesting sort of week for everybody. So
Not for me.
No.
It was Abe's birthday early on this
It
week.
was Abe's
Abe, happy
birthday.
birthday.
Thank you.
Yes.
It was not an interesting day.
No.
No.
Well, it was the day you were born.
I'm trying to think of movie news other than like Disney and Fox, like officially being a thing. But yeah,
I have found it. I do have a couple here.
all right. Cool.
Was it?
I got something too.
Yeah. Jai Courtney is returning as Captain Boomerang for the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Cillian Murphy's in talks to join the Quiet Place sequel. And
I saw
Angelina Jolie is going to be in the new Marvel movie Eternals, apparently, or in talks anyway.
So have they? Okay, so I saw something. It's kind of related, but kind of not related. I saw something on YouTube where they're like, "These are the 6 Marvel movies after Endgame." Have they officially announced the next movies after Endgame?
There's only one movie announced, and that's
Far From
Spider-Man.
Home is-
Far From Home.
yeah.
Officially announced, but we have Black
Official.
Panther is pretty much confirmed, I think, and Guardians are the only 2 that are kind of confirmed because they hired.
Do you guys think we'll get another?
Yeah,
Do you guys think we'll get another like big table announcement, like say like in the summer?
Yes.
Just
I think
yeah.
so. I think
D23, I'm sure we'll get a slate.
it'll either be
Yeah.
D23, but they didn't have much of a
A prompt.
No, what was
Like a
the
promo?
no? They
Like a hype?
presence. Thank you. They didn't have much of a presence at last year's D23 or at last year's San Diego Comic Con. So
Yeah, they
I'm
haven't really
hoping-
been doing much at Comic Con, haven't they?
So I'm hoping they go to Comic Con and drop something, but Caleb's probably right. They'll probably save all their shit up for D23.
Oh,
so.
you know, D23 this year is going to be like Disney
Oh,
Plus
shit, yeah.
and like their slate to like 2030.
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah. No, I do think that Marvel has slowly been sort of take them out of Comic Con because of D23, because they normally go to both. But I think that they're exclusively just stay with D23 now.
I mean, if they go to D23, they will only show the people on the panel something about Spider-Man. I guess it. No, I think it would have come out by the time Comic Con. I mean, so
when is D23?
Oh, I'm sorry.
D23 is in May. Is it in no or is
It's
no?
like August. It's like August.
July, August,
Remember.
something along
No,
there.
I think it's early August, isn't it? Early July because that was
I am just looking it up.
Yeah, me
now.
too.
yeah.
Power of Google.
Because what would you
August.
show to the people if you don't have nothing? Nothing has been. Oh, at least
Yeah.
with
August 23rd, 25th.
oh that.
Yeah, so one would have been out already.
For D23, so they won't.
Oh,
But they won't show
Anaheim.
anything for that. But
Anaheim.
Um,
But that'll actually put almost all of the Marvel movies that they're going to release this year done, right? Because Far From Home comes out in what, June?
Yeah.
July.
July.
Okay.
July. Okay, so July. And then what's do we have any other announcement? Because I know Guardians is next year.
Well,
Guardians
they
No,
like
Guardians is
supposed to be
22 now.
is it 22 now because James came back.
But they'd be talking about like Frozen 2, and I think Toy Story 4 would have been coming out.
4
In that.
will be out
Yeah.
already at that point.
Yeah.
So they'll
I
probably
mean,
do like Frozen 2 and Onward and
You know what we're forgetting? We
Star
are
Wars.
totally Star Wars. They're going to be hardcore into the Star Wars by the time we get to D23. So it's going to be, they're going to have panels. Malcolm, you're muted.
They have Artemis Fowl
No, maybe
coming on the first week of August. I don't know if anyone has heard of that movie or remembers it, but it's coming out
Yeah.
the first week of August.
I mean, I think with Star Wars, I think they'll probably drop a lot of big news at Celebration.
Yeah, the push is going to be in
Because they-
celebration.
I'd say that they'll.
early.
I think we're going to get two. I think, Brooklyn, sorry.
Yeah.
I think we're going to get the behind the scenes trailer that we always get for the new Star Wars movie. I think we'll get that at D23. And then I think that, at Celebration. And then I think, at D23, we'll get the full length trailer for episode 9. They may drop the name and the poster at Celebration too.
I think
I was just gonna say it's Celebration. At Celebration, I think it makes most sense to drop the title of the movie.
Yeah, title and
they're gonna-
behind the scene things.
They will release the trailer by then because I don't know. 2 years ago when Rogue One came out, and what I don't remember which one. Was Civil War. The trailer for Rogue One came out with Civil War, so it makes sense they will release a trailer in Celebration to put it with Endgame because it makes sense. The two biggest
I mean,
properties in the world right now.
maybe a teaser.
I think we'll get
Not for
trailer
that trailer.
at Celebration. We'll get a extended trailer at D23 for episode 9. I think because we get 2 or 3, and I think that's a good length of time between trailers to get other ones. So.
I wouldn't be shocked almost if Marvel takes 2020 off. Like there's not an MCU movie in 2020, which would be the first time that has happened since 2009.
Never.
I think coming off Endgame and everything, what they want, and I think what was going to happen was next year we were supposed to get Guardians 2, and then the whole James Gunn thing happened, and then we got
Guardians 3.
or Guardians 3. But I think we might get maybe 1 or maybe 2.
I think it will be. I think it'll be 1, maybe 2. I like the idea of taking like a little bit of a breath, a little bit of a palate cleanser. But you have to remember that Marvel is a company and that Marvel likes to make money.
Yeah.
Didn't I hear something about the Black Widow movie being dropped in 20?
Yeah,
They
already
what did I hear?
That could be like a drop.
they're
what
probably
was-
start shooting
something about Taskmaster, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I saw
Is
that.
that rumors? Or?
there is rumors. I haven't seen like something like Variety or Deadline reporting it. I've seen it on like things like comicbook.com where
But
we got it
Taskmaster
covered.
seems like such a weird fit, though. If they're gonna do that, like I would expect Taskmaster and Deadpool 3 before I expect him in Black Widow.
Yeah, no, I agree that it's not a great fit, which is why I'm not holding any stock that is a true statement until one of the big publications like Deadline, Variety, Hollywood Reporter, stuff like that report. Because I'd trust those than something like We Got It Covered or comicbook.com, who sort of says, what are our sources, but not giving a source to where they heard that.
Yeah.
Okay, so according to Box Office Mojo, Marvel has 2 movies slated to come out next year. One is early May, May 1st, and the second one is November the 6th. Only 2 movies are scheduled. I don't know which will be.
Yeah.
But they usually are pretty good with
I wouldn't
their...
be surprised. I'd
Yeah,
be surprised
they're-
if it's like Doctor Strange 2 and Black Widow, because like I'm sure they're working on Doctor Strange 2.
Doctor
I'm
Strange
thinking
is
more,
absolutely
I'm thinking
positive.
more Eternals that has a director by now and Black Widow.
I don't
Yeah.
think Eternals. I think Eternals. Literally, I think it is a reaction to DC announcing that they're going to do a Celestials or Old Gods movie, which Ava DuVernay is connected to that already. So I think this is just a reaction from Marvel to do something more grand in scape, like out in space with big gigantic heads and crap like that. But I don't think we're going to see it for a while.
Yeah, but they already had. I mean, they have directors like for 3 films, 5
Yes.
films right now. But like
Yeah.
they're already working on it because that director was, I don't know, I don't remember who's directing it, but she's with. I think it's a she, right? She's been working for it, I guess, for a while. They're gonna start shooting by the end. By when
Yeah.
Endgame it's released, they're probably gonna start shooting in the summer.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
so
yeah.
sorry, Malcolm, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, the sort of only movies that we know that have been confirmed are coming is Guardians 3, which is not going to be for anyway. But there's Black Widow, Eternals, Black Panther 2, I believe, was announced.
I've got $1 billion that says that comes out in 2 years. So
Yeah, I agree with you.
I think that they've said there will be a Doctor Strange 2 as well. I don't know about that. Those are the only ones that we sort of know
Scott Derrickson's
are
back
on
for
the
it.
books and that have been announced. They just don't have a date or anything really set to them.
And we know there's a third Spider-Man also because of his contract.
Yeah.
So we don't know when that comes out.
Yeah,
Well,
but I don't-
everybody signs a 3-picture deal, so everybody.
Well, he
does
signed
that.
a 6. He signed a 6. 3
Yeah,
solo,
well,
3
Avengers.
Avengers.
Yeah,
But that doesn't mean that doesn't necessarily mean it's got a third Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It could be have an appearance in one of the other movies coming up. So
Yeah, that's
True.
true. But
But I'm
you know,
sure
that-
they're doing a trilogy.
they're
Yes,
not. They're not going to stop the
Aye.
cash cow of Black Panther. They're not. They're going to continue with that one, and that's just it. So that's Doctor Strange. I'm interested to see how far out they do. But a good question for all of you guys is, how long before they make another Avengers movie after Endgame?
at 2022 at the earliest.
I say we got 4 years.
I think
I
23.
think,
4
I think
years.
3 makes sense.
I think
4
3
years.
makes sense too. Yeah, 3 would be if we didn't see another one before 2023, maybe. Maybe the
Because I
23?
think you have time, because I think with that it's essentially like if you do an Avengers movie, like say in the next like 2 years, that essentially what you're saying is the what's going to happen in Avengers Endgame doesn't really mean a whole lot, because they can literally just like they could take like 4 movies to sort of catch up, and it's like, all right, well, here we are now. So
yeah,
I think they need at least 3 years to sort of like digest and let things breathe.
I think what
Yeah,
they're doing is like once we get to phase 4, this is a different MCU, like almost clean slate, where like we're gonna take a couple of years to get back to the Avengers again.
Do you guys think that before, let's say September 1st, we're gonna get a slate like for at least 3 years? of what's coming out?
Yeah,
I would say so.
I would say.
They have to. They have to do something like that. It's such a big production for them, and they get so much word of mouth off of it for months that, yeah, I mean, I hope that we actually get a real internet trailer instead of like the cracked one that, that everybody put out there from their phone cams of like the screen with all the names and all the different movies and stuff like that. Yeah. I want an actual, like, on purpose released. I don't want it to be like, hey, it's just for you guys at collider.com. You guys get to see all of this slate and we're just not going to do nothing. I want them to actually, like, for the fans, release a YouTube video that says, hey guys, this is the slate for the next 15 years or the next 5 years or whatever it is. But what do you okay, so let's I don't know. I've been wanting to do this for a little while, and that's sort of precognate of what's going to happen in Endgame, because we've introduced Captain Marvel now. She's already a captain and a born leader. Does she now take place of Steve Rogers as captain? So can we assume or that something's going to happen to Steve in Endgame?
I think that Steve dies, and I think Thor dies. I don't think
Thor dies.
I don't think Iron Man is going to die yet.
Okay, I think Tony retires. I think Steve dies. I think Thor is going to have an adventure with someone that is in a galaxy called the Guardians. Because
I think that
Thor has become a rockster in the last couple movies in Ragnarok.
But I think it might be like where I think what they might do is similar to what they did in the comics. It's not quite like Old Man Thor, but it's because Odin is no longer Asgard. I think they set up Asgard. They're like, all right, Thor, you are now king, and I think they hand off that torch to Valkyrie, or they could set up Beta Ray Bill, which they have hinted at previously with Stormbreaker. Because that actually makes a lot of sense. Good idea, Brooklyn. Because it's literally they make Stormbreaker. And then it's like, oh, king of Asgard now. I can no longer be like just the god of thunder. I need to pass off to somebody, and then it's like Beta Ray Bill walks in. Here's Stormbreaker. You are worthy of his powers.
Asgard is no more.
Asgard is a people, not a place.
Exactly. I was trying to remember that quote.
But yeah, I think when we get to Avengers Endgame, I think they lock Hemsworth down for another 12 years. Like, that guy's star has just gotten to being like it's too important. With like Men in Black International, all those franchises he's doing now, and people are trying to put him in, they'll keep Hemsworth around. I think RDJ retires, but he's available to come back for more. And even though we probably won't see him suit up anymore, he'll be more like I'm here for a cameo here to help train you here.
Similar to Bruce Wayne in Batman Beyond.
Yeah, if Steve Rogers doesn't die in this movie, it's a bigger shock than if he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to go back to the Beta Ray Bill thing for a minute, we don't know if he's actually alive in the MCU, because don't forget on Sakaar and Thor Ragnarok, when you see the whole champions thing, Beta Ray Bill's face is on that tower, so we don't know if he's alive or if he's dead. So
they'll more likely pass it off to Valkyrie, I think, because she's already kind of been established.
Yeah, but I mean, I do think I think Tony and Steve are done in the MCU. There's Chris Evans himself has sort of said that he wants to do other things and he wants to move on.
He wants to direct. That's the main thing.
Yeah. There is rumors that both Thor and Hulk are leaving as well, but I think with Thor, I don't think he dies. I think he goes and becomes the king of Asgard. I don't think they'll pass it off to Valkyrie.
I think so. Talking about Hulk, I think something happens to Banner that he's not able to become the Hulk anymore.
Okay,
no. I was hoping we'd get the Hulk sooner or later.
Because as everybody's seen Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
So I have a theory. Let's get our tinfoil hats on. Let's throw on Twilight Zone theme music. I have a theory that because I watched Captain Marvel, and then me and a buddy watched Avengers: Infinity War the next day, and I watched the movie, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure now that the Bruce Banner in Infinity War is a Skrull.
Nope.
And there are two big clues. Because whenever they're in Wakanda, he's in the Hulkbuster suit. Because he says something along the lines of, "Oh, this is almost like being the Hulk," but he doesn't quite fully say Hulk. He says Hulk, and then it sort of stops as if like the writers didn't want him to say the full thing. Also, because in Avengers: Infinity War, with the exception of one thing about them creating Vision, he doesn't really delve too far into the past. It's very recent memories.
I will say there is not an opportunity in the movie from when Hulk gets beaten by Thanos, sent to Earth, and lands in the sanctum for him to
One of a Skrull was an Asgardian.
Yeah, but how do they change him out when we literally just saw Hulk fight and then get beat, and then he lays there, and then they send him in Hulk form. They sent him in Hulk form.
There is one really big thing that you guys are missing. The several times Bruce tries to get the Hulk come out, and the Hulk goes no, and has his big face come out. So he's not a Skrull. He wouldn't be able to the Hulk wouldn't be able to come out of him. But what I'm saying, I think we're gonna see Smart Hulk. I think we're gonna see Bruce.
Like Maestro Hulk or Mr. Fix-It?
No, Maestro Hulk. I think we're gonna see.
And have him join the Guardians. That'd be pretty cool.
Yes, because this is the next thing I was going to say. How awesome of a movie would it be to see Thor, Hulk, Valkyrie, Rocket, and Groot running around together and doing something? That would be. You
think Star-Lord's going to be done?
I don't think. No. I think the Guardians are still going to go. I think the Guardians are still going to be there. But I think that similar to Thor Ragnarok, where it was a Hulk and Thor movie, it wasn't just a Thor movie. I think you're going to see a bunch more team ups with everybody's favorite characters that are not necessarily the main six or something that you always see focused on the Avengers. But yeah, I think you're going to see Smart Banner and Body of the Hulk. And I think that's what they're going towards with him fighting with the dual personality. I wouldn't be upset though. I wouldn't be upset if we saw Mr. Fix-It Hulk either, the Gray Hulk.
I don't know how they would set that up. If that scene was kind of weird, they haven't really set up like a mobster sort of mentality.
Nope.
Because he has like the fedora and like the pinstripe suit or whatever, and he turns gray.
He's smart. He's just not
kind of a wise ass.
He's a wise ass, but he has half the strength of the Green Hulk.
So Cameron wanted us to talk about something. I don't know enough about it, but I'm sure if you guys elaborate, I'll be able to comment on it or whatnot. He wants us to talk about the Johnny Depp Amber Heard situation. I know little, but not a lot.
Okay, so basically, what happened was a few years ago, a video came out of apparently Johnny Depp was allegedly abusing Amber Heard, like they were fighting and all this sort of stuff. And that's why people were like, we don't want Johnny Depp involved in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them and all that stuff. And so what happened was J.K. Rowling came out and defended him and was like, I know things that you guys don't. Well, now Amber Heard Johnny Depp took Amber Heard to court. And apparently there's evidence that she is lying and that she's been abusing him, not the other way around. So, yeah.
I mean, I don't really want to talk about domestic violence.
I don't either, but yeah, that's basically the story. There's nothing to talk about.
It's a topic.
But to piggyback off of that, unless Sandy, did you have something to say?
Yeah, I think it's very important to say that all of us here on the table do not condone physical violence against anybody, including your partner. So listen, woman, man, if you're thinking about hitting your significant other, just don't fucking do it. It's not heroic at all.
Yeah.
It's a 5-second moment that ruins your entire reputation.
As a victim of domestic abuse in a relationship, it sucks. So this is kind of a sucky situation. But because I have a brand to uphold, Pirates of the Caribbean 6 now might be safe. Might be safe with Johnny Depp, which if that can happen, I want 6 to be the last one, and I want it to be like the Infinity War of pirates.
Everybody, all the ships just blow up. Just
No,
like, it's like Caddyshack, but on the ocean. That just they get to the end, and it's just like boom, bum, 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 bum,
I've been rewatching all of them for undisclosed Malcolm reasons, but I absolutely want a 6th one now because the post-credit scene for 5 brings back Davy Jones. So imagine if 6 is them fighting Davy Jones, and it's basically the last stand of Jack Sparrow, and you call it Pirates of the Caribbean: The Legend of Jack Sparrow, and wrap it all up. Like it's Jack's last stand, and like you make it so he can't come back after this. Like he goes out a hero or something.
Yeah.
But like you bring back all the Turners, you bring back Barbosa, Pinto, Rigetti, Norrington, all the people that I like as a nerd absolutely love to have. But yeah.
Did you see that? Did you see that? He was just he was throwing all of that knowledge at you just to give you a little scare.
I've already tried scaring him by saying be nice to me, or I'll make the question super hard for him. So.
Listen, after watching the Full Metal Random Wizarding World, I am terrified for the question of how many barnacles are on the Flying Dutchman. So
I'll just take note of that question right now.
Son of a bitch, Malcolm.
All right, so there's a couple of trailers that people want us to talk about. I haven't seen any of them, so I'll just sort of spitfire. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. You versus the Wild.
No.
And that's it for trailers.
I mean, I haven't heard of either of those, but I did watch the Dora trailer that came out recently.
We don't talk about Dora.
Boy, all I gotta say is Boots the effing monkey is not wearing red boots. I am triggered. Okay? That was my show as a kid.
Why'd you do it?
Okay?
We could have done. Are we done talking about the Dora the Explorer thing?
I would hope so. I would hope so.
Right. We could have talked about the most excellent news that showed up, and that is that Bill and Ted 3 is getting done. This is possibly the happiest news I have ever heard. Other than that Ernest Cline is writing Ready Player 2, so we get a sequel to that as well. But this is awesome. Keanu's back. Alex Winter is back. Unfortunately, they probably won't have Rufus because poor Mr. Carlin has passed away.
Died like 11 years ago.
Exactly. So I don't care. I want this movie to be excellent. I don't want it to be bogus. I want it to be great.
Love it. Love the references.
I mean, on that note, I am going to say I'm intrigued in a Bill and Ted 3. I'm a little worried that it might be too late because we've seen what happened a few other times when they've tried to recapture the fun of a movie with a big gap between sequels and it hasn't gone. I mean, not that I'm saying that. Not that I'm saying that.
Yeah.
Not that I'm saying Bill and Ted 3 will be like that. It's just.
How can they go wrong, Malcolm? How can they go wrong?
You'd be surprised.
They only got to do air guitar. They got to say excellent. They got to say whoa. And we all know that Keanu can still do that. He did it right up to his last movie. He just whoa. You know.
What if they
do it? Excellent.
What if they try recasting Rufus and putting a new actor to play Rufus?
They won't.
What if they try?
Oh, I know. No, because who's on George? Okay, this is a question for Malcolm and purely Malcolm. What comedian working today is on George Carlin's calendar?
Well, one, I don't know. I just said, what if they try to recast?
Exactly. That is the point, Malcolm. We do not ask questions unless we have somewhat of an answer.
I'd argue that Jim Carrey's up there actually.
What was that?
I would argue that Jim Carrey's probably up there.
Ooh.
Jim Carrey's still a little bit crazy. Jim Carrey's still believe me, I love Jim Carrey as much as the next person. Just a little bit crazy.
Everyone is crazy. Everyone is crazy these
Oh
days.
no. Like I'm sorry, but after after that Netflix documentary about like the behind the scenes of like Man on the Moon, I was like, you're some stuff. There's some stuff you got to figure out before I get back to like loving you like I did in the early 2000s. But yeah,
Man on the Moon is one of the greatest films of the 90s.
to the direct to video DCAU lovers, Batman and Ninja Turtles crossover. I guess they dropped a trailer for that, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I don't know if that's is that a DC animated?
I believe it is.
I don't know because I have the list of what is. I have the list of what the movies that are coming out.
Okay. Oh, excuse me. Some other stuff. Denzel talks to play Macbeth for a Coen Brothers movie. I don't know.
So
not a Coen Brothers movie. Not a Coen Brothers movie. A Joel Coen movie, and that's what makes me a little nervous.
Why? So, like, was there a falling out?
I mean, he directed the first 20.
Joel what?
He directed the first. I don't know. I think the
No,
first
he
one-
didn't. They've always directed together. They've just only ever been able to credit Joel as the director and then Ethan as the producer because there's a DGA thing. But they've always directed together. So this is the first movie where Joel is officially directing a movie completely on his own, which makes me a little nervous. There wasn't a falling out. It's just Joel wanting to do something different, which I don't know how it's going to work, but I don't know.
Have they done adaptations like that, like classical or like sort of like well-known adaptations?
I mean, technically,
Oh
O Brother, Where Art Thou is an adaptation of the Odyssey by Homer.
it is. Yeah.
I mean, The Big Lebowski is an adaptation of Shakespeare's Macbeth.
Oh no, Caleb, you're right. They actually give it. There's a line based on the Odyssey by Homer. In there,
Okay.
So
And then like the only like other adaptations that they have done are like No Country for Old Men and The Lady Killers.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing that they did say in this article is it is going to be an original screenplay that's written from them, so it's their own spin on Macbeth. So whatever they're going to probably put some spin on it to make it different to the classical version of Macbeth.
Mm-hmm.
Just to jump back for a second, the slate of DC animated movies released this year, already released, is The Reign of Superman, which is the sequel to The Death of Superman that was later last year. Then they did Reign of Superman, which is fantastic if anybody hasn't watched it. The next one that is coming out in just a couple of weeks in early April is Justice League versus the Fatal Five, and then the next one is in late summer. I believe it's July or August, and that's Batman Hush.
And then next summer is Ready Player 2.
Yeah. So and then right after Hush in the fall is Wonder Woman Bloodlines.
I'm sorry, then
Cool.
it's Ready Player 2, right? Yeah.
So the two other movie news-ish things is Taika Waititi and Ryan Reynolds are reuniting for Free Guy. I do not know anything about this. Cool. Moving on. And then Zack Snyder confirming the existence of a Snyder Cut. But I mean, the sky is blue.
Okay.
Bacon is good.
Let's be real, though.
I feel like this was common knowledge, but people just sort of they sort of made this spectacle what it didn't really need to be.
This Snyder Cut is not what he says it is. If there is a Snyder Cut, it's got a lot of previs. It's going to be a lot like the movie that they made, just maybe less Frankenstein-y in parts, less Joss Whedon-y in tone in parts. But it's going to basically be the movie that we got with maybe some previs. And it's like, I don't want that. Honestly.
I don't want it either. It's say whatever you want about
over. Why are we talking about it?
It's over. No amount of fixing that movie is going to make the people who hate it like it more, and no amount of extra stuff is going to make the people who already like it more. So there's no reason to do it, and because the people who like it are happy that Zack wasn't attached to it at the end of it, and the people who don't like it didn't like Zack Snyder to begin with. So giving us a Zack Snyder cut, who freaking cares?
Exactly, and if it comes out, like if they decide to, like, the only reason why he's talking about it, they'll never release it. The only reason why he's talking about it is to stay somewhat relevant because he's not making anything anymore.
No, no.
Well, he's making that other that weird Superman movie, right? I could be wrong.
No, that's James Gunn.
That's James Gunn.
Isn't he working on something else? He
I don't
announced
believe
he was
so.
going to direct something. I don't remember what it was.
I mean,
but
somebody's gonna take a chance on him. I mean, he's made a few good movies. It's not like he's made garbage his entire career. I mean, they keep on giving M. Night Shyamalan
Yes.
freaking money
He
to make
worked.
movies.
They're gonna.
Okay, here's a question for you that not movie was related, but it's actually kind of a segue into best working directors because these guys are working directors. Whether I would consider them the best of the three, of the three directors that I'm mentioning, who is the best? M. Night Shyamalan, Zack Snyder, or Michael Bay.
Michael
Who is
Bay.
the best?
M. Night Shyamalan.
Michael Bay.
Oh my god!
I want to hear a debate. I kind of want to hear a debate between Sandy and Caleb.
I don't want to debate, but
Okay.
I will literally sit here and say this. Michael Bay's movies may not be intellectual and they may not have, a lot of story involved with them, but this is what they do. A, they make you buy popcorn. B, they make you go back to see it again. And C, they make butt tons of money. That is the only thing that a business executive at any of the studios needs to know, that once he makes a movie with big explosions and big everything, he's going to go for it. Every single one of his movies is like that. You can say that this didn't hit as much, or this did. Even Transformers The Last Night made $500 million. So M. Night Shyamalan, I'm sorry, he's just made too many shit bags for me to think that he's the better director. And what he's done to some properties is he should be locked up for.
See, I agree. He's made a lot of really bad ones. Lady in the Water, Happening, Last Airbender. But I will say, when he hits big. Unbreakable is pretty good. The Sixth Sense is one of the greatest movies maybe of all time in the discussion, according to some. Split, I happen to think, is a phenomenal film. I even liked Glass for what it's worth. But like when it comes,
you guys are forgetting about Signs, one of the greatest sci-fi movies of the 2000s.
Signs, thank you.
Signs is phenomenal. I love Signs.
But the Village is kind of weird, but like it's not terrible. Like the thing with M. Night is like he's good at what he does, which is weird out there movies. The Visit is entertaining, but like he is the Michael Bay of story. He either hits big or he doesn't hit at all. And like the thing with like Michael Bay is like he's good at making things blow up. But when he's not making things blow up, he makes $1 million at the box office. That's 13 Hours, The Secret Soldiers of Benghazi, that's Pearl Harbor. That's literally every movie he's made that doesn't have Transformers or The Rock on it.
Dude, no. Armageddon, come on.
Where is Matt Kearns whenever you need him to defend Armageddon?
I will defend it until the cows come home. Michael Bay.
I love Armageddon. I will not lie though. It's been a while since I've watched it. I'll probably watch it tonight.
Yeah, it's every time it's on TV, I watch it. But the one thing that you said that was wrong, Caleb, was Michael Bay never hits. Like he never hits. He's never going to win any. He's never going to win any awards. He's never going to get any. No,
I don't mean
hits every single time with money. Every time he goes out and makes money, except for one where he tries to be a real director. When he tries to go out there and do Pain and Gain, when he tries to do 13 Hours, or when he tries to do regular movies, they don't hit with audiences.
So when he tries to make a movie that's not called Transformers, it makes less than $1 million. So he always hits when there's giant exploding robots, because that doesn't need a language to understand.
My!
He hits lots of them.
Okay, I understand both points, but my question to Sandy, and I wish Cody was here, is he'd be fucking furious at what I'm about to say. So, the gist of what I'm getting from Sandy is that essentially yes, Michael is a great director because of the profits that he provides. He's a great thing. In that same vein, would you say that McDonald's is the best restaurant purely because they make billions upon billions of dollars every year?
Okay, well, let me ask you this, like a return question on that. Is McDonald's recognized as the fast food restaurant chain that makes the most money in the world?
Absolutely.
Hands down, it's done. Then
it doesn't mean most profitable. And I think a stat that a lot of people forget and that you'd be surprised to hear. Fast food restaurants are the cleanest restaurants in the entire industry.
Yep.
Because you got to think about it. All their kitchens are open concept. Because in normal kitchens, there's always a door separating the kitchen and the dining room. You don't have that option in fast food.
And I'm just gonna make Caleb remember here that he also did Bad Boys. He also did The Rock. He did Armageddon.
But is The Rock
Island.
But is The Rock that good though?
The Rock is fantastic.
I don't know. The Rock signs. The Rock signs.
The premise of the argument. The premise of the argument they presented is that every movie he hits big at box office. The Rock, I think, made $500,000 total. Like, I don't think The Rock is a big hit.
I think it's safe to say that Michael Bay's best film, which I think is Pain and Gain, is not his most successful.
That's a hot take.
Black Boys is the best one.
I don't think I don't know.
I don't know about that one.
What's the best of the Michael Bay's?
I think if you had to pinpoint one, it's probably one of the Bad Boys. Honestly, I don't hate the first Transformers movie either.
Yeah,
I think the first Transformers is good, and I think the third Transformers even is pretty good too.
Third Transformers is good, but if they cut out like 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there of like just the really shitty stuff, because I watched it. I think I saw it in theaters twice, and then I watched it again on DVD. That movie is long. Sweet fucking Moses, that movie is long.
All right, hold on.
And it's just like it grinds on, and it could have been as good as the first Transformers if they just. If they don't, it's kind of up. It's like the way that Paul Yama talks about Fight Club is that it's kind of up its own ass.
All right, Caleb. In 1996, The Rock made $134 million domestically.
Okay.
And worldwide, it made $335 million and change.
Fair.
Which would inflate to like
9 billion
or 7. Yeah.
So it relates. No. So in inflation, you're telling me The Rock is the highest grossing movie of all time.
No, because I think one of the Transformers is one of them at like 1.9 billion or something like that. So
yeah.
But
this is actually kind of a good segue because our theme today is the best working directors, and I wanted to do that with Jordan Peele's Us coming out, getting mostly positive reviews. But if anybody listened to Critically Acclaimed last week, they reviewed Us, and they're like, it's good, but it could have been better. But I thought it'd be good because within the last 5 years, Jordan Peele is sort of kind of like boom, he's considered one of the best directors of the decade with only directing 2 movies. But I think like obviously like there's the obvious ones, like there's your Spielbergs. There's your Scorsese's, there's your Christopher Nolan's, there's your David Fincher's, and there is your like Catherine Bigelow's and your Rob Reiner's. I think the one that instantly comes to mind that I think that nobody talks about, and I think Caleb Coho will agree with me. As far as I know, I think he's only directed 2 films, Cabin in the Woods and Bad Times at the El Royale. But I think Drew Goddard needs to be in a conversation because Cabin in the Woods is now, mind you, this is almost by default for me, but based on conversations I've had with other people, a lot of people believe that Cabin in the Woods is one of the best horror films of the 2000s. I think Cabin in the Woods is phenomenal.
I think Drew Goddard is
What was that?
I think it's underrated.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's as good as you're saying as one of the best horror movies of the 2000s, but I mean,
it did make number 8 on Rankham's top 10 top 2000s horror movies list.
I think Drew Goddard has a very good style about him, and I think he is one of the most promising young directors. I think he's one of the most phenomenal writers working today. Bad Times at the El Royale is an airtight story. Like, I think it's phenomenally written. Like, it should have not only been nominated out of this crop of screenplays, it should have won Best Original Screenplay. So I think he's a phenomenal writer. He also wrote The Martian, which I think is another phenomenally written film. And The Cabin in the Woods. Like, he's just a really solid writer.
Yeah, I agree. My wife actually really liked Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, actually, that's a really good question. You mentioned Ridley Scott, and I think, where does Ridley Scott stand for you guys? Because I know he's very, like, 50-50. Is he another, like, smash hit away from being in the conversations of, like, your Steven Spielbergs, your James Camerons, and all that whatnot? Or is he another bad film from being like, all right, he's now like an M. Night Shyamalan. He is
I just think he'll always fall in the middle for me. As
the thing with Ridley Scott is if you give Ridley Scott a great screenplay, he's gonna make he's gonna make the greatest movie, one of the greatest movies. What's the Alien script is great. The Martian, which is incredibly written by Drew Goddard, it's fantastic. If you give him the screenplay, he's gonna work. There's this roundtable with the Hollywood Reporter where he says what was the hardest thing when doing The Martian. He said nothing. The film was already written. Like, I just had to say the actors what to do. He's capable of directing great movies with great scripts. He's not one of those directors that's gonna elevate the material with his direction, I think, in a way that Scorsese, I think Spielberg do it. Like, for example, Goodfellas. It's a fantastic movie. I don't think, like, you can tell the screenplay, like the story, the plot is fantastic. It's just the acting, the way Scorsese tells the story and stuff. It's what it does. And Ridley Scott does not. He's not a shitty director. He can do great with a great script, but like almost every single director can do it. But like he can put it up a notch. He knows how to direct.
I think.
Oh,
sorry. For a second. I think he suffers from the same thing that Steven Spielberg suffers from now, is unless he hits it out of the park every single time, everybody expects him to hit it out of the park with every single movie. And if it doesn't meet those expectations, it's almost like people rebel against the movie and say it's horrible. It's not what we come to expect. And I think that, I mean, even though he's done some questionable movies that, are, there aren't a ton of Ridley Scott movies that I don't enjoy on some level, just like with Steven Spielberg. There aren't a ton of Steven Spielberg movies that I don't like, but I just think expectations sometimes get the better of people.
Did any of you watch All the Money in the World?
No.
I did not.
No, I love him. I think Michelle Williams does the movie, but I think it's one of those movies that are unappreciated like last couple of years because of what happened with Kevin Spacey. But I think it showed like he still has it. Like, you give him like I like Covenant. I think it was because I watched it the same day as King Arthur, and I hate King Arthur, and I wanted to love something that day. It's just a thing. But like, it's just different. Just want to mention, I don't know, directors. Big Doctor. I don't think animation directors get a ton of credit. And he directed Inside Out. He directed Up and Monsters, Inc.
Inside Out.
I don't think he's the best director from Pixar.
Brad Bird, I think, is the correct answer.
I think
Brad Bird.
Brad Bird is a better director. Andrew Stanton has directed more good films for Pixar.
Although I will say, Inside Out is one of few films that I have watched once, and I will only watch once. I will never watch Inside Out again. Inside Out was incredibly sad for me. Like it was like, okay, I'm going to elaborate here a little bit because for some reason Inside Out has come up in conversation, and I've talked about it. the reason why Inside Out is on that list for me, or is in that list of like movies that I'll only watch once. I watched it at a time where I was trying to like closet my depression and my anxiety. I was afraid to sort of admit that I was struggling mentally and I needed help. So we watched a movie one day, and we watched it. I'm like, oh, like this is good, but it's really sad. And then we talked about where Bing Bong dies, and like it said that everybody cries during that. And I didn't cry. I didn't cry during that because for some reason I didn't find that part super sad. What got me to sort of like lose it, snap, was it was like 5 minutes later in the movie whenever Riley is like, I need to accept sadness in my life, and that's when I started bawling, and I'm like, this movie is like made for me at this exact time because I needed to hear that. It's like I need to bring sadness. I need to bring sadness into. I need to accept sadness. I need to accept in my life that it's okay. That it's okay to be sad. But that's why Inside Out is on my list of like movies I only ever watch once. But enough about Inside Out.
I agree with Brooklyn. Can I continue mentioning directors?
Yes. Sorry. I that's been on my chest for a while.
I understand. I have a similar experience, but like just understanding myself, I think that movie it's incredible. If you see it at any age, it's gonna help you. I think Paul Feig. I don't think the comedy directors get a ton of love. I think Spy was fantastic. I even like the Ghostbusters. You can talk about Bridesmaids. You can talk about latest year, Simple Favor, which is an amazing film, which everybody should watch. Probably this decade is going to be shaded up by the Oscars by red, green, and white because of the Mexican directors, Cuarón, Iñárritu, y Del Toro. Those guys are crushing it. Bennett Miller. Do you guys know who Bennett Miller is? Capote, Moneyball, Foxcatcher, and David O. Russell.
Yes, David O. Russell, Cinematic's Playbook. American Hustle. A lot of people sort of give that crap, but I think it's good.
The Fighter. Joey is fine, but
yeah. Another one. So Cameron Holzman has a couple. Edgar Wright and Taika Waititi. I'm not as big a Taika Waititi fan as everybody else is, but Edgar Wright. But Edgar. I'm sorry. I've watched Thor Ragnarok, and that's the only Taika Waititi film I've watched. But yeah, Edgar Wright. It's
a good movie.
Edgar Wright for sure. Hot Fuzz is like an action comedy classic.
That whole trilogy.
And the world, yeah, at World's End. Oh man, I don't know if I went on this rant before on stream, but I think I definitely have off. One of the most frustrating things for me as a stream user like Netflix, Amazon Prime and shit is that it's like one day I watched World's End. And the next day I watched Hot Fuzz, and I was like, you know what? I've never seen Shaun of the Dead. I want to go watch Shaun of the Dead. And of course, Hot Fuzz is on Netflix. At World's End is on Netflix. But where's Shaun of the Dead? Nowhere to be fucking found. It's like, why can't you just have the whole trilogy so that people can binge watch the gloriousness of this? It just doesn't make sense. But another name I wanted to add, especially the way that he's been able to transition in genres. Adam McKay. I think needs to be added to that conversation. You look at I'm really sorry, Sandy, but Anchorman.
Fuck.
Anchorman is it is in my top 10 all time for a reason. But his transition into like these more serious sort of dramas where you have like The Big Short is phenomenal. And I haven't seen Vice, but I hear Vice is really good. There's another Adam McKay esque film like that I'm missing though. What am I missing? There's
Nothing.
Big Short, Vice, and it. No, there's another one like that.
Nope. So it's only two. Before that was Anchorman 2.
Yeah.
And anyway, before all my picks get taken, I'm going to name some directors out there.
Right, cool.
I think Damien Chazelle is getting up there. I mean, say what you want about First Man, and I haven't seen Whiplash, but La La Land is
Malcolm Goldie Lay. Okay, so after the stream, you're gonna go watch Whiplash, and then you're gonna thank me because Whiplash is so good.
It's on my list to watch. It's just not, I just don't have the funds to be able to watch it at the moment. And I
okay.
have and I need to wait so I can repay Netflix. So, but the other one is he's done 6 great fantasy movies. They're all filmed in New Zealand. I think you all know where I'm going with this. It's myself.
But is he? Oh yeah.
He hasn't made a good
Is he
movie,
really?
period.
Is he really still working? Like, oh yeah, I guess he did
Well,
direct.
I mean,
Mortal
he's still
Instruments.
working. I mean,
Yeah.
he made They Shall Not Grow Old. And
He has
and
made
he's
yeah.
doing
one-
Beatles documentary.
He has made one good film, and it's called King Kong.
Wow.
You're forgetting the Fellowship of the Ring. I could see the argument for Two Towers.
I'm not.
But Return of the King.
I'm not forgetting. I'm not returning. I'm not forgetting Lord of the Rings.
All right. We
I've seen the
glossed-
Fellowship of the Ring. Not good.
You know what, Caleb? My first instinct is to give you a smack upside the head. But my second instinct is I just want to come. I'm going to fly to whatever Midwestern northern state that you live and literally just give you a hug because I think you just need
I'm
that
not gonna
hug.
lie. I
And
probably
be like, and
not
probably
gonna
just
lie.
like, hey, Lord of the Rings is a great trilogy.
And one of these days, I'm just gonna show up at Caleb's door and I'm just gonna knock on it, and he's just gonna open it up, and I'm gonna be standing there. He's gonna be, what the hell? I'm like, man,
Mrs.
5
Caleb.
hours,
Is
man,
Caleb home?
5 hours, baby. But no, we glossed over completely the fact that Malcolm said something that whatever you think about First Man, I just watched that movie last night, and I don't know what the problem is. It's good. I enjoyed it all the way through. I didn't
think
have
you're
anything
talking
bad to
about
say
me.
about it.
I mean, once
I
again,
don't know.
first, I've not seen First Man, but from what I've heard, really mixed feelings about it. Because there's a lot of people say that it shouldn't have been nominated for any Oscars at all, and some.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I think the visual effects win is kind of. I mean, we talked about that a
Not
couple weeks
a
ago.
bad.
On the
It's not a
Oscars,
one
but-
visual effects. I still maintain to this day Infinity War was robbed. But
Ready Player
like,
One.
Kind of tug. Okay. Just want to mention 2 other people and elaborate one.
I'm gonna throw out one name, and his name is John Carney, and I absolutely love every film.
What has he directed?
What did he
Some
make?
people say he makes. I completely disagree. Once, which a lot of people call one of the greatest rom-coms of all time. Begin Again, completely underrated music industry film, and the one that everyone knows him for, Sing Street, which is my 3rd favorite
Sing
movie ever made.
Street's great.
phenomenal coming of age
Haven't
film.
seen Sixth Street.
You gotta see
Me
it,
either.
man.
3rd
As-
favorite movie ever.
As
Sure,
somebody who
whenever-
loves music as much as you do, you're gonna dig this movie, man. It's great.
Love
So
it.
the cool guy just sort of spitfire. Sorry, Malcolm. Is there any other directors you want to talk about before I spitfire a bunch of them?
Well, I mean, Jane Campion is one that is kind of all over the place. Because like she did the piano and all that. I think she is. I believe she is still working on something. I can't remember what she's doing. I can't think of any others at the moment. So you can rattle off more names.
All right. So cool. So cool guy. I think we haven't talked about Tarantino somehow, but I think. Oh, what Sandy? Who'd I miss?
Me?
You
Oh.
forgot to get Sandy's take.
Oh, oops. Did I do that?
Goddamn Canadian. Oh, what am I saying?
Cody has possessed you.
Cody. I'm just gonna rep I'm gonna rep a bunch of people that we know already that I'm looking forward to seeing what they do next outside of where they're known from. I really want to see what Ryan Coogler does post Black Panther. I want to see what Patty Jenkins does post Wonder Woman. I think there's a lot of good. I want to see what's her I can't even remember her name. Directors, damn it. Girl who directed Shape of Water.
Guillermo.
Guillermo del Toro.
No, nominated this. Wasn't nominated this year.
Greta Gerwig.
Oh, Greta
Greta
Gerwig.
Gerwig.
She's
Yeah,
good.
Greta
Lady Bird's phenomenal.
Lady Bird. Oh, sorry, wrong one.
Because
Lady
Shape of Water is
Yeah.
Bird, Toro. Yeah.
yeah,
Um,
Guillermo.
It was also
Yeah.
phenomenal.
It was almost also phenomenal, but I'd like to see what Ava DuVernay. I know she came out with
Wrinkle in Time.
A Wrinkle in Time, and a lot of people just didn't like the adaptation. As somebody who's read the book and watched the movie, and watched it with somebody who loved the book as a girl, it didn't hit for any of us, for either of us. But I'm really interested to see what she does next with her career. So, and I mean, we've already seen what Jordan Peele does, but Jordan Peele's been killing it all over the place.
Oh,
so,
phenomenal. I wasn't okay. I saw Get Out. I wasn't completely sold on Jordan Peele. I don't know what it was. I was the one person who saw Get Out and was like, this is all right.
Yeah, that's how I thought of it too.
Walked. Holy shit. Us is so good. I love Us.
I don't know, man. Freaks me
And
out a
I
little bit.
used to comment on Sandy's thing. I'm not gonna cut you out, Brooklyn. He's doing Ryan Coogler is doing a movie called Wrong Answer, starring Michael B. Jordan about a math
Ryan
teacher.
Coogler. Ryan Coogler is rock and roll, man. I love him.
So speaking of Ryan Coogler, I think another director sort of in that vein, because Ryan Coogler is like synonymous with Michael B. Jordan. I think he needed to mention Antoine Fuqua, who did American Gangster, the Equalizer movies. American Gangster is great. I love it. Some other names. Oh, we've somehow skipped Ron Howard. Rush is one of the best sport movies of at least the 2010s.
I agree.
I'd say you could almost argue that it's the best F1 movie.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, with Ron Howard, I think a lot of his movies from sort of the recent times, I think he's had more sort of movies which haven't been that like that critically appraised, like Solo, like the Da Vinci Code series. Like the first one was good, but I think the other two from there is kind of fell off.
I'd almost give him a pass on Solo, because it was more so like, we're gonna give you a deck of cards. Close your eyes and now put this deck back in order. Where it was like, it was never. I don't think it was ever going to be like a flawless film.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I enjoyed Solo. What I was just saying is it kind of fell off for critics. I think the critics and a lot of the fans really went at it and didn't enjoy it. I don't think it was his filmmaking per se which was the problem. I think the critics just didn't like it for other reasons.
You mentioned Solo, Phil Lord and Chris Miller. Those guys are just fantastic directors.
Like a movie, Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse.
They did not direct that, but they produced it. And they're really good. They wrote it, I think.
Robert DeJong, a new person in the chat. Welcome, Robert. The name I do not recognize, but he mentions Sam Mendes, who did what?
Skyfall, American Beauty.
What was the
Evil Dead 1, 2?
What else? No, it's not.
Wasn't it Sam Raimi that did Evil
Sam
Dead?
Raimi. Yeah, sorry, my bad. I thought I heard
Sam Mendes did Skyfall, which is one of the most phenomenal.
Who's the
best James Bond film
that he won Best Director for?
American Beauty.
I mean,
he also made one of my favorite DC comic book movies of all time, Road to Perdition.
We're missing somebody, which is probably the best one coming today. Denis Villeneuve. That guy.
Yeah.
That guy is just an incredible director.
With Hugh Jackman and Jake Gyllenhaal.
Prisoners.
That's one that is on my watch list.
Denny has an eye to shoot movies, which no one has. I'm so excited for Dune. Blade Runner was flawless. Arrival was my favorite movie of 2016. Prisoners mess me up. I cannot remember another movie because I hadn't watched the French movies he's done because I don't want to read it. He's just an incredible director, and I think he may be not proven in the box office by now because Blade Runner didn't hit at all, but that was I think that was there on Arrival, but we cannot deny the quality of the movie. In my opinion, it's just incredibly directed. I mean, when he works with Roger Deakins, it's like your movie probably gonna be like 50% better than it is when you have Roger Deakins at the camera.
And I mean, talking about pairings, when you brought up Lord and Miller, another sort of pairing that I want to see what they do after what they're currently doing is I want to see what the Russo brothers do after The Avengers.
They have a movie. They just announced another movie. I don't remember what it was called. Let me check it out.
Because I mean,
so other names that Robert brought up, David Lynch is another one that I'm not as well versed in it, and one I've never heard of, but I'm sure if you dropped a movie, then I can probably tell. Werner Herzog, no idea. who that is.
he's a great documentary director. He's going to be in the Mandalorian. He's going to be on the Mandalorian series coming on Disney Plus, and I'm not a Disney. I'm not a Disney show at all.
Yeah.
You talking about the Russo brothers? Malcolm? They're doing a movie called Sherry, with Tom Holland about an army medic suffering from PTSD, and he becomes a serial bank robber after an addiction to drugs puts him into death. That was the movie.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, I think another director that you could put in Maine, but he's like a couple of bad movies away from being like a Ridley Scott level character. Guy Ritchie. I think that Sherlock Holmes is one of the most underrated films ever. And then I think Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels was a good one. Did he do Crank?
No, he didn't do Crank. I believe the last movie Guy Ritchie did was that King Arthur Legend of the Sword.
Yeah. I know he did King Arthur. I'm just trying to remember other films he did that wasn't Sherlock Holmes or Lock, Stock, and Two.
Man from U.N.C.L.E., Snatch,
Yeah.
Swept Away.
Man from U.N.C.L.E. was so underrated.
Yeah, definitely agree with that, Sandy. He has a movie coming out next year called Bush. It's about a woman's vagina. I'm sorry, no. Very British drug lord tries to sell his highly profitable empire to the dynasty of Oklahoma billionaires. That's Charlie Hunnam and Matthew McConaughey.
Richard Linklater, another name that I entirely forgot about. Jesus, like School of Rock, Dazed and Confused, the Before trilogy.
Everybody wants them.
Boyhood. I need to watch Everybody Wants Them.
Oh, it's good, man. You'll love it.
Like, is it as good as Dazed and Confused? Or?
It's probably 25% less good than Dazed and Confused, but as Dazed and Confused is so awesome, 25% less is still really good. I've watched it probably 3 or 4 times. Not as much as I've seen Dazed and Confused, but it's decent.
Bernie from Richard Linklater. You should watch that movie with Jack Black and Bernie. Incredible film.
Yeah. Do we consider Paul Verhoeven a working director?
No.
I know
the last movie he did was 2 years ago with Resident Evil. What was that? Annihilation or Afterlife or something like that.
Is that him? Really?
No, that's Paul W.S. Anderson.
Oh, that's right. Shit. Paul Verhoeven. Yeah, what was the last movie he directed?
He directed L.
I know the big movies that he's known for: RoboCop and Total Recall.
He directed L.
And Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
He did L, the Isabelle Huppert. I haven't watched it, but she was nominated for an Oscar for that film. But he hasn't done much. The last big one I can say, I think it's Hollow Man from 2000. Which I don't know which movie is it. I have never seen it, but
it's with Kevin Bacon. They come up with a serum to make somebody invisible, and Kevin Bacon goes all psycho.
Oh, I've seen that movie. That movie's incredible.
It's a really underrated movie. It's great.
Yeah. I didn't know I didn't know what was the name of the movie, but I've seen it. It's great.
Well, guys, this actually might be a good time to wrap things up. It is quite late for me. And I'm sure you can tell from like my red face, just sort of like my stagged look that I'm very tired, and I need to get some sleep. So that is going to wrap things up today for the Cool Kids on Late Night Take 3. I am going to start with Caleb. Plugs, go.
Yeah. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Kilco. That's K with a K, K-O-H-A. You can find me on YouTube. Kilco, where I do music. Co-productions, where I do film on both channels right now. My movie Chick Part 2 is out for you to watch for free. What's not free is my album Super Tease with the Forks. You can find that on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you consume your digital music. And you can find me on Multiplex Entertainment, where I host Fandom Fight on Fridays. I'm on the After Show on Mondays. And yeah, I do a lot of stuff over there. So cool.
Malcolm, plugs.
You can find me on Take 3 Productions hosting Rankum every Sunday night. This week, we're doing top 12 WrestleMania matches in which Brooklyn and Sandy will be on, along with Cody and Tim Smith. You'll also find me on hosting Full Metal Random on the Full Metal channel every Tuesday, as it is now. And this coming week is a Game of Thrones match featuring our very own Robert Parker against Jim Green and Dominic Rizzi to see who knows more about Game of Thrones. And you can Twitter, Letterboxd, and Stardust at Melkor, and Brooklyn's doing the shit rats. I think he's frozen.
I think I'm gonna have the shortest plug of all. You can follow me on Twitter at AbrahamF25. That's sad.
You guys can find me all over Full Metal Trivia. We just started taping all of our play-in matches for the singles and team tournaments that will be going on in the month of April. And everywhere else, you guys can find me here, S Robinson 1799 on Facebook, Letterboxd, Twitter, and Instagram. Thanks so much.
Cool. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at the real BK there. Never have to worry. You can also be finding me right here at Take 3 Productions. We're running about 2 shows, 2 Bucks Trivia every Monday at 9 p.m. Standard Time, trivia, debates, and countdowns. April 1st is Robert Adams versus Zadie Smith, but April 8th is Jukebox Heads Up. It's Jukebox Heads Up Volume 3, which is our playoffs for championship, which is a very, very, very exciting match. And on Multiplex, running the after show, and sometimes running Nerdgasm whenever I'm not balls deep in meat. So for Abe, Malcolm, Caleb, Sandy, I'm not going to Brooklyn Vale. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe on this video. If you like it, the rest of our content, be sure to check out the Showdown Reactions, the Summit. Some of these soundtracks is coming back. Potentially, Rhyme and Reason, a second look, Rankum, God of the Wind, whenever it's awards. But yeah, Chris and Smith is not on Jukebox, unfortunately, Star Drew. But cheers, guys, and as always, drive